We're not trying to be crazy alarming, you guys. But we are opposed to abortion.
Okay, but so you chose.
We're trying to raise awareness. We love our preborn neighbors just as much as our born neighbors.
Okay.
You guys think about human rights, the right to kill a child and all that kind of stuff. You don't think human beings are humans until they're born?
Yeah, isn't that what you said?
Have you had biology?
I can make the biology.
I know. Hey, that's good. That's good. That's good. But so you think that a human being, genetically, biologically, taxonomically speaking, becomes a human being? Is philosophical. I think it's actually theological. I actually go that far.
It is theological.
So y'all think that? So like whenever they were saying the same things about like African Americans or Jews or anything like that, they didn't have the same rights as maybe white people or.
But all those people had been born. They were all living with us here on this planet.
So really, there's some kind of, as scientists, some kind of magical property of coming out of a birth canal.
Well,
Do you guys have a baby?
No.
We don't have a baby.
You don't have a baby? Well, like
Do
whenever
you have a baby?
Yeah, I do. But she's a newborn. But like ultrasounds, a little wiggling, giggling ultrasound thing, you know. And you know, because your biology, 9 weeks when most abortions happen, 8, 9 weeks. Little bitty guy,
They
little bitty
can't
girl.
survive on their own at that age, even with the best medical technology.
So philosophically, you think that the ability to survive is what makes you
I'm
human?
actually more rooted in sort of the sociologic consequences of bringing unwanted children into the world, which I think is probably a worse. I don't think.
Well,
no one thinks
people should.
abortion's a
I know.
good thing,
I know. People
but
should want them
I think
though.
I would rather have it stopped then than have an unwanted and unsupported human.
Because we don't want any useless eaters.
Not useless.
Well,
if they're unwanted, an unwanted human leads a horrible life, in my opinion.
Well,
Many
oh yeah,
times.
I would agree with you. We actually need to like
it's not that they're
do a whole lot more to care for children and not see them as wanted or unwanted and measure someone's worth
There's so
or
many
value.
kids in the world, up for adoption worldwide.
Right.
That
Who do you think's adopting them? The people who are for abortion and the people who are against it?
probably the people that are against it are, but.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of the people out here that are like the fanatics with the crazy science, they're adopting.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I mean, no
It's a
one's
massive
for
problem.
abortions. No one's for abortions. It's the question of the lesser of two evils that some people choose.
Yeah, and we actually think that pro-lifers are for the lesser of two evils. They're trying to like curtail it and all that kind of stuff. We're full-blown abolitionists. Get rid of it. Take away the right. Force people to do the hard thing.
But people aren't going to use protection.
What do you mean protection?
Properly, and to avoid unwanted pregnancies. And that's the whole root of the problem is whether people are.
Most people who are getting abortions.
50% of pregnancies in the United States are unwanted.
Sure.
Unplanned.
Sure. So obviously all the birth control and all the condoms and everything. Once you have somebody,
and I believe it's
like
one in five
responsibility.
women has an abortion in her lifetime.
Yeah, Planned
One in
Parenthood
five.
actually says it's like 1 in 4, 1 in 3.
So
The more sort of like, and I don't mean offending, the more godless a city, the more abortions. Like that's what they'll say. They'll say it's like 1 in 3, like you're talking about like California.
It's not a good
Portland a godless city?
I don't know, actually, I'm not from here either. I'm saying, they do the stats, they'll say something like, it's like 1 in 3, and you're like, well, that's crazy. You're probably not counting Kansas, are you? But, like, it is epidemic, and it's everywhere, and it's like never gonna be abolished, and it can't do away with. If we did away with it, we'd have all these unwanted children, all these reasons against it, and they're all taking the place of the simple argument. Do we have a human being there? Does that human being...
Well, I don't know.
We
Does
don't
anyone-
know. I mean, you can't save a baby before 23, 24 weeks with the best
No, the baby
technology.
is viable. The baby is viable. The only place the baby's viable is within her
Inside.
mother's womb, right? So,
I mean, in some other point of view, it's a parasite.
not biologically speaking. How many parasites in the biological realm of thought are actually related to their host?
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, it's just like the whole culture, our whole mind is so used to it, and it's so dominating that you've got like half the people in the world being kind of fanatical like this, and the other half's like, man, it's just like it's got to be here.
I guess we're in the other half.
But so let me just ask you, because I don't want to take your whole day. Has this ever happened in this country before?
As what?
Big issue, some kind of dehumanization of some kind of a people group. half the country thinks yeah, half the country thinks no. But even in the half that thinks no, there's only a very small percentage of those people who are like, let's outright abolish
But
it.
it's always predicated on the question of whether the entity is a human. So you're saying
That's what it was
the same as any oppressed group, and that
yeah, it's
that
well you
9-week-old fetuses are
you use
an
the
oppressed
same
group
you
in
use
our
the same.
society.
See, I would say the same thing. So an abolitionist of slavery would say, listen. So he'd say like the slave is a man and a brother. Was their symbol? Am I not a man and a brother? He'd say like, look, the slave, the African, made in the image of God. Jesus died for them just as much as he died for that cornbread guy over there. Just as value, right? Just as valuable. But the thing is the same thing that the abolitionists of slavery said. The why slavery was wrong.
Yeah.
That's why we say abortion's wrong. And the same arguments that people say, no, it's got to be around. There's economic reasons, population
the same
reasons.
for vegetarianism, and I eat meat too. I mean,
Except for nobody dies with the vegetarianism.
Animals do. I mean, some people believe animals have the same rights as humans.
I know, and some people would argue. Some people, this you're bringing up all the best points. Some people would actually argue that it's wrong to eat animals, but it's okay to scrape a human fetus out of a womb.
I would. I guess I wouldn't. I'm not a vegetarian either.
But how consistent is that? Like take a 9-week-old human being and pull their arms and legs off, smash the little skull, remove them through a tube.
I know. I mean, I know that it's brutal, and I mean, it's not something that.
But it's not just that it's gross. I use gross language because it is a gross thing. But it's that you've been there, he's been there, we've all.